Well, the cultural cringe is back. The fear that the Voice referendum will fail has triggered a sharp burst of cultural anxiety amongst commentators and politicians who seem to imagine that the rest of humanity has nothing better to do than to look down disdainfully upon Australia. Quote, "The eyes of the world are upon us," wrote Troy Bramston in The Australian last week as he dipped his nib into a well of cliches. "History is calling on us. It is a test for all Australians. We must not fail." Well, older viewers will immediately identify Bramston's condition as cultural cringe. It was a term coined by Arthur Angle Phillips in a 1950 essay which noted an intellectual tendency to make unflattering comparisons between Europe and Australia. Educated Australians, shocked by the crudeness of their own country, would pause, as if asking the question, yes, but what would a cultivated Englishman think of this? Well, with the chances of the yes case in the Voice referendum receding by the day, the elites have commandeered the cringe to use it as a weapon to beat the brows of those contemplating voting no. 9 months ago, they took heart from the polling that indicated that the proposal would win in a woke slide. However, the more we learn about this proposal, the less we like it. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese seemed to have a flutter of the cultural cringe a few weeks ago when he spoke on a Sunday morning television interview on Sky. He said, "The Voice will send a signal to ourselves and the world that we're a mature nation that is coming to terms with the fullness of our history." He said, "It will make us feel better about who we are as a nation." Well, Albanese's argument was perfectly pitched to cement the support of the hand-wringing elites who were already on board, but it was strikingly out of key, however, with the sentiments of most Australians who already feel pretty positive about their nation. They would agree with Barry Mackenzie's memorable declaration that we live in the best bloody country in the world, no worries. Not every Australian, it turns out, is bent double with colonial guilt, least of all the 30% or so of citizens who were born overseas. They, after all, have voted with their airline tickets in deciding to come here to Australia rather than, say, Venezuela. Far from damaging Australia's reputation, I think a resounding rejection of the Voice can only enhance it. It'll start repairing the damage done to our national image during the fright-demic of COVID. That was when commentators like Tucker Carlson in the United States seemed perplexed about the docile acceptance in Australia of some of the world's harshest lockdown measures. Quote, "When Americans think of Australia, they imagine a freer, tougher version of themselves," Tucker said. "Steve Irwin, Crocodile Dundee, that kind of thing. The modern reality is a little different from what we imagine." Well, a resounding no vote in the face of this chorus of hectoring from the political media and corporate elite will tell the world that our egalitarian, independent spirit has not been extinguished. A strong rejection of the vote will be an expression of confidence. It'll be an endorsement of our colourblind constitution and the courage not to cringe, but to swagger.